Hi there. First take, right? Let's get started with our learning today, everyone. Thank you for showing up for your learning. Today we're looking at how do we apply the quadratic formula to solve for different stuff. Now this one, it's telling me that a rational solution exists, which actually means this thing's factorable. But to actually factor this thing, I see there's no common factors possible, and I need to multiply to 16 times 5. I need to multiply to 80 and add to negative 24. That doesn't feel easy to me, so I'm going to do something else rather than try and figure that out. So let's take a look at what other things we can do. It's just a 20 times 4, and they're both negative, but we can also use the quadratic formula. So here's how you would do it. You'd recopy your equation, 16p squared minus 24p plus 5 equals 0, and then go ahead and apply the quadratic formula. I highly recommend doing this step first. Write out your A is equal to 16, your B is equal to negative 24, and your C is equal to 5. And then copy out your quadratic formula. We go big and sing the song if you want. P is equal to negative B plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4AC over 2A. And then substitute in. So negative b, I can write it as negative 24, no problem, plus or minus the square root of negative 24 squared, minus 4 times a, which is 16, times c, which is 5. Make sure you extend this so it's clear I'm taking the square root of all that stuff. Put all of it, the front and the back part, all over 2a, which is 2 times 16. Notice I've substituted carefully and into brackets every time. That will help me avoid errors, and particularly sign errors are going to be very common with the quadratic formula. This unit will be a lot of pay attention and don't make mistakes. So now we solve this way. So negative 24 is 24 plus or minus, and then work out what's inside the square root here. So 24 squared, working it out in your head, gives 576, I believe. 576. And then check your mental math with a calculator. 576. Good. Minus 4 times 16 times 5. Well, that's going to be, let's do minus 4 times 5 to give us minus 20. Minus 20 times 16 will be minus 320. Minus 320. Okay. And then check your mental math with a calculator. 4 times 5 times 16 equals 320, but it's negative. Good. So that's all true. 2 times 16 is 32. And why do I do the mental math and then check it with a calculator? I like the exercise. So do it in a way that gives you exercise. All right. Next, 576 minus 320 is 256. 24 plus or minus the square root of 256 all over 32. Well, the square root of 256 is just 16. It's just 16. So how do I know that? Well, let's check. So I have 256. I take the square root. Oh, it's just 16. So now we have another line. This is equal to 24 plus or minus 16 over 32. So that's going to be equal to 24 plus 16 is 40 over 32, or 24 minus 16 is 8 over 32. Okay, reduce these so I can take out the factor 4 there. Actually, I can take out a factor 8 from both of those numbers, and that's going to be 5 over 4, or, and then here the factor 8 comes out, 1 over 32, take out the factor 8, is just 1 over 4. 5 over 4 or 1 over 4? All right. That's strange. It wasn't what I expected. Okay, anyway, let's take a look here at our problem. We have here, what are the values of p that makes this true? And oh yeah, I see why that's true now. So p is equal to 5 over 4. And then to give two different solutions, put a comma here, comma, 1 over 4. I could do decimals for both of these, but I'm not going to. Submit answer. Yes. Hooray. Don't forget that important step. Feel good when you get them right. Feel this much frustrated when you get them wrong. This much. Be like, oh, darn. And then say, I'm going to try another one. And have that type of attitude, and your math practice will continue to be fun. Unless it's a lot of, oh, darn, in which case, send me an email. Mr. Jennings, these aren't working. For example, send me a screenshot, and then send me a picture of your work and say, what's going on? Why is delta math wrong? And believe that delta math is wrong until I reply to your email and show you why you're wrong. And then you'll feel better. Use these strategies to feel good during your math practice. Okay, so that's how you use quadratic formula to solve these types of problems. This one here is a little more tricky. So what we're going to do is copy out the problem carefully. I'll do one more example in this video, because this is the major topic for this unit here. 8c squared plus 18c minus 7 equals minus 2. Be careful about applying quadratic formula when it's not equal to 0. Always shift everything to one side of the equation so that it is equal to 0. So in order to do this one, you get out your inverse operations pen, you add 2 to both sides, and then you carry on in your original color, 8c squared plus 18c minus 5 equals 0. Now I can apply the quadratic formula with an a value of 8, a b value of 18, and I'm going to use capital C because I have lowercase c as my variable here, as c equals minus 5. Okay. And then let's go for it. Negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Hey, Sarah, ask B if I sing that every time. Every time. But I also remember the formula, so that's partly why. So then substitute carefully with A, B, and C. So I have B is equal to 18, so negative 18 out front, plus or minus the square root of 18 squared, minus 4 times A, which is 8, draw a little snowman, times negative 5. Cool. And then all over 2a, so 2 times 8. All right, keep going. Negative 18 plus or minus the square root of, what's the square of 18? It is 344. Is that right? Doesn't feel right. 324. 18 squared is 324. There you go. 324. Minus 4 times minus 5 is 20. Positive 20 times 8 will be positive 160. So do this work carefully and check it with a calculator. All divided by 16. I encourage you to do as much of it as possible in your head, but to check with a calculator. 324 plus 160 will give 484. So this is equal to negative 18 plus or minus the square root of 484 over 16. Oh, the square root of 484, I know what that is. It's 22 squared. Let's check. 484, take the square root. Oh, it's 22. Yeah, that's right. So that's how you know. How did I know that so easy? I got some tricks. So there we go. So this is equal to, working horizontally for now, negative 18 plus or minus 22. over 16. Now, let's take a look at what that gives us. It gives us two possibilities. Negative 18 plus 22 would be 4 over 16, which equals 1 over 4. And then the other possibility is negative 18 minus 22, which is negative 40 over 16. Here I can take out a factor 8 from both numbers to get negative 5 halves. So here are my two options for what C equals. Negative 5 halves or 1/4. Put that in. So we have 1 over 4 was one option, and then negative 5 over 2 was the other. All right. Note that these ones will factor. You can solve them by factoring. Today we're practicing solving with the quadratic formula. If you want extra factoring practice, factor them and then check your answers. Okay, these ones over here, quadratic formulas with decimal answers, will be the subject of another video. Thanks for showing up for your learning, and that's it for now.